Okay guys, I'm doing my second automotive repair video. This is a 7th generation Honda Accord, specifically 2003. Today we are replacing the starter. Unlike most traditional cars, the starter is actually located in there. I don't know if you will be able to see it. Just barely. Oh, there it is. You see it? That's the part that sticks out. This is what a new starter looks like. This part goes, I guess, into the engine. This is the part that you guys saw sticking out. So a bit of work is required in order to get to the starter. First we got to remove this bolt, this one, this one, this one, this one as well. And yes, we're going to have to remove this whole body. So I'm going to take off this hose and unlatch it from the throttle body. This is the throttle body right here. And the part that's a little bit, you have to be careful in is right here. Because when you remove the throttle body, these wires are going to be loosened. So be very careful. Make sure you take photos before you start to work on it, so you know what it looks like, what it's supposed to look like. You see, I know there's another part here. Oh, okay, it looks like that's not there. So, I don't know if you can see it. There's a piece that connects the throttle body down here. It mounts. Oh boy, it's actually right here. If you see this hole right there, that hole is where a bolt goes. But somehow it's still stabilized. It's not wiggling around, so I guess that's not a problem. Okay, well, let me try to loosen this up and I'll let you know if I come up with any problems. Also, before you start on work like this, be sure to remove the battery cables. It is a hazard and a huge risk for you to leave the battery connected on there, because the starter is connected to the battery and we just want to avoid any risks. So just disconnect it before you start work on this, please. When disassembling this whole body that's connected to the throttle body, it would be best to also remove the throttle body, disconnecting all these hoses and remembering where they go. That includes this hose right here and this one right here. This is where the sensor goes. It lets you know if there's a problem wrong with the oxygen flow. I'll update you guys as I start work on this. Okay, I removed the hose, took this off of it. This part connects here to the throttle body. This connected to one of the little tubes. I'm going to show you. It was like this. Like that. And it went in there. This attached to there. This attached to this hose. This hose right there. Okay. Now the time I disconnected. I'm gonna disconnect right here. We're trying to take off the throttle body now, so I took this off. Actually, I'm sorry. This goes here, like that, and this one goes in there. All you do is simply pull them off, just like that. This is out now. Next part is to take off this assembly right here. I'm going to take off this bolt and this bolt, and then I'm going to unscrew these. This one back there, that one over here, right there. And disconnect this cable from it. Yeah, probably disconnect this one as well. Now this whole piece will come off with it. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so I've removed all the bolts off of it. It's wiggling right now. These wires are still on there. This is, oh, I'm sorry. The wires are still on there. This is loosened. I took off these bolts on here. Again, I can't stress enough to take pictures so you know what it looked like. Okay, so I suggest moving this to the side, trying to keep these wires on these ridges. That's what I would do. I just don't want to risk them moving around or anything happening, so I'm literally just going to have it pushed off to the side. I don't want to take off all these things and unscrew it completely. As you can see, I was gonna take this one off, but I think I'm just gonna put this back. There's no need. Unless you want to clean your throttle body, you can put some brake cleaner in there. And I know that there's a little teeny tiny screen filter in there. You can dip this whole thing in there if you're having problems with your throttle body. Chances are you'd be able to resolve the problems you're having with it there. I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to remove this. This is the air intake. So I'm going to remove this, and once I've removed it, I will show you what it looks like. Another tip, don't ever try to force anything. This thing shouldn't be forced. So if you look over here, I completely forgot about this. This is attached to the air intake manifold. There's a teeny tiny clip. If you see my finger, it's pushing on it, and it's as simple as wiggling it off, just like that. Well, actually, okay, it's attached to a hinge which stabilizes it. Now it's loose, so at this point I need two hands, but there's a clip right here. That's the clip I was trying to show you guys. Unclip it, move all this stuff to the side. All this. Where's that? There is our starter, right in there. Can I get it clear? Yep, there's our starter. Again, I want to make sure you guys don't force anything. So this didn't want to come undone, and like I said, you need two hands, so you need to press on both clips. One clip here, and with your left hand there's a clip here. Literally pull them both apart from each other. That's all you do. Okay guys, we're at the point of the process where we're about to remove the air intake manifold. I'm just trying to secure this stuff over here so it doesn't move. I'm gonna have to put this hose somewhere else. Look, let me put it right there if it works. It stays. Stay there. Okay, see, that's fine. Remember, we want everything to be as neat as possible. I'm gonna put this over here. Something I do so I don't forget is this thing. I know where this goes now because that's where I have it. If you guys want to do things like that, like right there, I'm gonna go ahead. This right here, that can easily get lost. We don't want to do that. We don't want to lose anything. That'll just complicate things, and you'll always hate doing work on your car, and you wouldn't want to risk it. You'd rather want someone else to be liable for mistakes like this. So okay, we're gonna try to remove it now. It looks like this isn't gonna want to stay still. So what do I have to do? All right, yeah, I secured it as much as I can. I'm gonna move this, and look, it keeps wanting to move. So I'm just gonna let it move. It's fine. Now, under here, you can see some wiring attached to it. You don't need to take off that clip. If you see that white clip, just take the hoses off. And let's see if it's as simple, if there's something I'm missing. There it is. This is a good way to evaluate the health of your car. There's some soot or carbon in there from something. Okay. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, if you have a brand new car, it shouldn't look like this. But this car has well over 100,000 miles. Anyways, so that piece I was talking about, that black piece right there, that bar, see how it's not secured now? I always had it secured, but that's what happens when you get work done by someone else. I'm going to remove this now, Yeah, freaking throttle body. Oh, look what just happened. See, that's why I say don't force things, just be as gentle as possible. I'm getting oil on this hose. Get that off. And look. Oh. See, I thought I was gonna have to remove this. No, I don't. Just see that. Take it off. Carefully again. Nothing attached to it. Boom. Air intake manifold. Put this off to the side. There's our beloved starter. Let's do this. Okay, so this is where the starter clips on. Right there and right there. It's a long screw that's kind of just poking out. Before we start to unscrew stuff, we have to unplug all the electrical stuff. That means this is a cover right here. Hold on. This is a cover, and that's what's behind the cover. So we're gonna unscrew this bolt. This should just pull right off. I'm gonna clean my hands, guys. All right, here again. Let's see if it's that simple. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. It's off. Okay. Let's see what else. Is it that simple? Okay, look. Well, that can stay there. Now I gotta take this off. Can this slip down? See, if you notice, I mean, this is the second time I changed the starter. This was from eBay. Just get one from Rock Auto, like the one I showed you guys. Just get one of those. This lasted about 2 years, and I wasn't even running the car that long, to be honest. It was sitting. So remove that, and then remove these. Actually, yeah. I'm confused by these things. I don't think they matter, to be honest. They're not attached to the motor. They're attached to its own body. So that screw and this screw, those need to come off. Let's do it. It's always good to have a bunch of tools at your disposal, because this right here, that's a metal bar. You're not going to fit a ratchet in there. It needs to be one of these, and that's what fits in there anyways. Oh, and this is a size 17 that you need to get in there. Okay, I'm gonna continue. Okay, so it was really difficult loosening this one and difficult loosening that one. When you put it on there, if you plan on ever replacing the starter again yourself, don't put it so tight. I made sure not to do that myself, but I put it on there tight enough. I used a pretty short bar. I mean, look, I'm in there and I gotta pry and I can't even use my mallet to try to torque it off. So I had to just get up in there and give it some strength for it to come off. Now, I'd suggest getting a longer ratchet. You'd have more torque. You'd have more length. You'd be up here twisting it versus being all up in here and uncomfortable. It was really hard. I was starting to get discouraged, but I got it out. Now I'm gonna remove it after removing the bolts. Okay, when torquing this off, if you want to, you can remove this hose just so you can get more leverage when you're using your ratchet. I didn't want to because chances are there's fluid in here and it'll leak. You hear that? That's the fluid pushing on the thermostat. This is thermostat. That looks disgusting. I don't know why that's happening. The wheel doesn't look damaged, but whatever the hell that gunk is, that's probably why this failed. That's kind of concerning, because I don't know if it's the starter itself or the flywheel. You can see it from here. I'm gonna put a flashlight to it and check it out. Okay, so I was concerned that it could be a flywheel issue. Damn it. But let's take a look. That is supposed to be dry. So, and the threads don't look worn like that. So I'm not concerned about the flywheel. From what I read online, you can put brake cleaner on it. Do not put WD-40. The rusting is fine. There's not a problem with that. If you're concerned with its rotation and if it turns, it looks dry in there, and it is dry. I mean, there's absolutely no sign of moisture. Let's see. Flywheel is fine. This is the fun part. Nice and clean. Nothing's wrong with it. That fluid that's in there, it looks like it's the same type of fluid. Yeah. So it looks like it's supposed to be in there. Just more likely not like the other one. Alright, I'm putting it in. Guys, I mean, I feel like it's straightforward at this point, but I'm going to still continue with the recording. Now, I would definitely say that this type of job is definitely for someone advanced with automotive repair, and that doesn't necessarily mean you know how to remove an engine and repair the engine or transmission. But something like this, you can't make mistakes. So this needs to go back on here. This needs to be clipped on there. This needs to go clipped on there. This cannot be forgotten about. This is right underneath the air intake manifold. This, and where are you? It'll pop up. But the other piece that looks just like this, they stick together. Don't forget to connect the hoses back on it where you removed it. Don't forget to put the hoses back on the clips where I showed you I removed them. Put everything back on the throttle body the way it was. If you see, my strings are still attached on the ridges. It didn't move that much. Here's the whole picture. This gasket, do not hit it, do not beat it, be very careful with it, try not to even touch it. It's very thin, and it's a very important part of this. Do not underestimate gaskets. It's straightforward, guys. Plug all the sensors in. Make sure that everything is in. Don't forget anything. Plug those back in where they belong. Don't forget, please. I cannot stress this enough, especially for beginners that are trying to save money. I understand. Trust you. Trust me. I haven't bought a brand new car a day in my life. I worked at Sears so that I can actually do my own repairs to save money, because I was a starving college student and I am in debt now. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know how that feels. But anyways, that's it, guys. I'm gonna put it back together, and don't forget anything. Oh, here's that clip. All right, have a good day, guys. Something I need to stress out is when you're tightening these bolts, I got this one really tight right now. Really tight, meaning just tight enough to hold on. I don't have one of those torque bars where we know how many pounds per square inch was applied on there, but just try to use your best judgment. I got it on here as tight as I can. That's good. It's on there good. Now, make sure that this one didn't get loose from this one's tightening. That's something that I'm sure some people would make the mistake of. Double check and make sure that's tight. Okay, guys. Air intake hose is on. Sensors are on. Everything got put back together. You always want to have a designated spot for all your bolts and nuts that you take out, so you can look back and know with certainty that everything is put back where it was. You want to make sure, you always want to have some doubt to make sure that you double check, triple, quadruple check. You just don't want to make any mistakes. Everything's in. All right. Battery's going in, and I'm gonna start her up. Moment of truth. Yeah, buddy.